Finally, the federal government is now taking the right decision on COVID-19. Like, this is the main thing many of us have been advocating right from the beginning, instead of the overbearing lockdown that they imposed on every single person in the nation. This should have been what they should have done from the beginning. This should have been it. Now, what they are saying now is that 55-year-old people and above, that if you are from 55 and above, it is better for you to stay at home. Don't go to churches and mosques. Since they have opened churches and mosques now nationwide, it is better for you to do what? To stay at home. That's advising those people who are more vulnerable to stay at home. This is what they should have done from the beginning, instead of locking everybody down, because the risk factor for everybody is not the same. The risk factor for a 20-year-old is not the same with the risk factor for a 55-year-old or an 80-year-old. So these things are different. So it has to be assessed, or at least thought about in different ways and analyzed in different ways. So that's exactly what is happening. So now they are actually taking the right decision in doing this. Now you all understand that just a couple of days ago, the federal government decided that they would allow the states to be able to open up their churches. But I mentioned back then that one thing we are going to see is that the states still have some leeway in deciding whether or not the churches would really be open and the mosque would really be open. And what actually happened? Lagos State, Ogun State, Oyo State, Ekiti State governors have now decided that their own states are not ready yet for reopening of the churches and the mosques. So this is exactly what I've been saying, that even though we have issues with federalism in Nigeria, that is, we are not true federal states, we still have the states having some leeway in taking some decisions. So, and this is a very good thing, because the situation in each state is not the same. You can't just rule everything from above like that and expect everything to go all right. The conditions that will be required in Ondo State, that will be required in Kogi State, it's not going to be the same that will be required in Lagos State. So many things, like so many differences are there. The population density, so many things, the demographics, a whole lot of things factor into this. So it's a very good thing that this is happening. But for all the states that the mosques and the churches have been opened, actually, this is for you. And the reason is because the death rate for people above 55 years old, according to the NCDC and the PTF, is that it is about 1 in 5. That is, you have about 1 in 5 chances of dying from this thing. Like about 1 in 5, which means it's like 20%, like approximately 20% chance of dying from this thing if you should catch the coronavirus. So the reason is because when in churches are enclosed spaces, public spaces, but enclosed, just like mosques too. They are enclosed, and if a place is enclosed, it means that the temperature there would be relatively lower compared to outside in the sun. And we all understand that the sun is a good disinfectant against this thing. The sun is able to kill it off both in the air and on surfaces, according to studies done in the United States and all around. So the sun is able to kill this thing off. But when you congregate together in an enclosed space in a large number, what you're actually doing is that you're going to be increasing the humidity. That's the amount of vapor, water vapor in the air, which also is very, very good for the propagation of this virus. This virus cannot stay where there is low humidity. So if there is high humidity, you're actually giving a chance for this thing to spread. And that's what is going to happen when everybody is congregated together in an enclosed space and breathing out in that space. You can't compare the sort of ventilation that you are going to have in a church with the ventilation that you're going to have in an open space. So that's exactly what is there. So if you're trying to compare this with the markets, honestly, I tried comparing it with the market in the past, but I actually understand now that in the market, you're actually in an open space. So there's going to be a lot of ventilation. Even if somebody has COVID-19 in that space, it is less likely that the person will be able to spread it, because the whatever is coming out of the nose and mouth of the person would be dispersed easily. Dispersed. So whatever amount of the virus is going to be getting into your system would already be extremely low in potency, and the viral load you're going to get is not going to be that much, so your body system will be able to fight it off very easily. But if you are congregated together in an enclosed space, the air that is being breathed out by each and every single person is just going to linger there. It's just going to remain there, and everybody is going to keep recirculating the air and keep breathing it out. For example, think about if you're all together in an air conditioned like church, that's what is going to happen. You just keep recirculating the air and on like that. So that's the danger that is there for all those people that are older. So if you're older, it's not by force. If you want to go to church, you can still go. It's not like maybe you're going to be arrested because you're older now and you will not be allowed to enter the church. But if you're older, you're just being advised that you don't go just for your own health's sake, because this thing is much more dangerous for people of that age range, 55 years and above. Very, very dangerous for them. So it's all an advisory for all those people. So that's the reason why they're doing that. You also have to realize that we have not even reached the peak of this virus yet in Nigeria. We have not even reached the like the highest number per day, the cases we're going to be having, the highest number per case per day, because now we have, well, at a point we had about 500 cases in a day, and another point 400 cases in a day. This thing could get to a stage where we might start having about 1,000 cases in a day. That's the danger that is there. We have not really reached there. And remember that we have a very high population compared to any other country in Africa. It's one of the reasons why we're called the giant of Africa. We have a very high population. At this very moment, we have 10,819 cases, 314 deaths. So we are basically like the number 3 in Africa when it comes to the cases of COVID-19. We are the 3rd country in the highest cases in Africa. So even according to the PTF, they are saying that if we are not very careful, soon enough we are going to overtake all those other countries very easily, and we're going to be like probably the first country when it comes to the number of cases of this disease in Africa. So which means it's not like the virus has gone. The very fact that they're opening churches and mosques does not mean that we should just go out willy-nilly and just keep doing things the way we've always done it before. This thing is still very much available, and it's still very much dangerous to those people who are older. So it's not about trying to deny you your rights or trying to deny you your freedom. It's just about trying to protect you. And of course, it's not something that is going to be compelled and forced on you. It's something that you have to decide on your own. You're going to weigh your own risk assessment yourself and then decide whether you want to take the risk and go to church and mosque, even though you are within that age range, if it's worth it to you, or you decide to just take a pass and stay at home. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody. I'll be seeing you guys next time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's really going to help the channel to grow. And also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Then bye.